I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, place where y'all come for, just inspiration, motivation, encouragement, and just some positive words. Before we get started, I'm just want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope that everybody was safe, had a good time, enjoyed time with family and friends. For the people who made New Year's resolutions, hope y'all stick with them. Hope that y'all start to become better versions of yourselves and stick to whatever promises you made to yourself, made to God, whoever you made the promises to. And for everybody who didn't, I hope that y'all continue to improve on, the person you was last year, continue to prove and become better this year and so forth. And going forward, continue to improve, continue to get better. But today's episode, y'all already know a lot of my inspiration just comes from casual conversations that I have. And today's episode is about two things that really tie into each other, and those are perception versus reality and appreciation. And so, again, y'all already know casual conversations spark a lot of my episode topics. And I was just having a conversation with this person, and they were just talking about how they had a bad day. I won't even say a bad day at work, but just a bad interaction with their boss. And from that one interaction, one bad interaction with their boss, their mind went straight to how this is a terrible job, this is a terrible company. I need to leave and get a new job and all of this stuff. And it just kind of got me to thinking that, wow, it is so crazy how we can take a bad moment and stretch it to a bad day, or take a bad day and make it a bad week or a bad month or a bad year or a bad life. You know what I'm saying? Our perception stretches the negative stuff. But like, if we have a good day, we don't have that same energy when it's something positive. We'll just be like, oh man, this is a good moment. But then we want to be like, oh, but it's still a bad job. But if we have a pretty good job and then we have one bad moment, then the job becomes a bad job. And for me, just sitting there talking to him, us just talking back and forth, I tried to. My whole thing was, well, did you feel like it was a bad job before the interaction happened? And he was like, you know what, I never really thought about it. So, and my thing was, so you never really thought that it was a bad job? He was like, nah, I never really, the thought of it being a bad job never really crossed my mind until this interaction. So again, I asked him, well, do you think that it was just a bad interaction with your boss, or do you really feel like it's a bad job? And he kind of, after talking for a little bit, he kind of realized, okay, it is just a bad moment, and not really necessarily a bad job, because again, he's been at this job for, I think he said, a little over, it was either a little over 2 years or going on 3. I can't really remember. I can't really remember what he said. But my thing is, in those 2 years or 3 years, in that amount of time, whichever it is, in that amount of time, at no point in time did you ever really contemplate, man, this is a bad job. But you have one interaction with your body, and trust me, I'm one of those people. I do understand that working with or working for the wrong type of people can make a good job feel bad. I've been in both. I've been at a place where I worked with some amazing coworkers. Did not like the job, but worked with some amazing coworkers, and my coworkers helped me get through the day, helped motivate me, because I wasn't excited about what I was doing, but I was excited to go be around my coworkers for these 8 hours. So, I've been there. But I've also been in a place where I've worked for, as a matter of fact, the same place where I enjoyed my coworkers. I could not stand the person that I worked under, my manager, my supervisor at the time, and she made the job way worse than it had to be, because because she loved to micromanage where it wasn't needed. You know what I'm saying? I understood in the beginning when I really didn't know anything, when I really didn't have my rhythm, I didn't know my flow, I didn't know how my day was going to go. And I needed a lot of training because I was working with a lot of new machines that I had never worked with before. I understood it. I understood the micromanaging at that time. But once it got to the point to where you said, where she came to me and was like, okay, I'm trusting you. I have enough trust in you. I've seen you do it enough to where I want you to start training people. Okay, since I'm the trainer now, I'm looking at it like, okay, no need to micromanage me. If you want to micromanage the people that I'm training to make sure that they're still doing everything that they were trained to do, doing it the right way, fine. And every now and then check in on me to make sure I'm not getting lazy, I'm not getting comfortable, and not slacking off as far as on, doing things the right way for safety reasons and things like that. Cool, I completely understand that. That makes sense. But she was just, and that's just who she was. She's just a micromanager. But that was a part of the problem. But the real problem for me was the way that she talked to people. And, when somebody's been somewhere so long, the thing that they love telling you is, oh, that's just who that person is. Oh, that's just who they are. That's just how they talk. That's just them. They gonna be who they gonna be. And you supposed to just be okay with that. And for me, nah, I wasn't. I'm not gonna be okay with that, because my thing is I always give, or at least I try to give everybody at least a certain level of respect. Just as a human being, just as an adult, just as a person, I try to give people a certain level of just a common courtesy level of respect. And when I meet people, or I gotta work with people, or I gotta work under people who don't do the same in return, I've done nothing to you for you to talk to me the way that you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? And that just doesn't sit well with me. It never has, and it probably never will. I don't care if you're the owner, the CEO, whatever. Talk to me with a certain level of respect. I'm not sitting here saying you got to treat me like I'm everything, but you're not going to talk to me like I'm nothing either, though. You know what I'm saying? There is a perfect middle ground where you can talk to somebody with a common courtesy level of respect. And that's all I'm asking for. So she just talked to people in any type of way, especially if she was angry. She didn't have to be angry with me. She didn't have to be. It could have been something that somebody else did, but she don't know how to decompart. Is that the right word? Decompartmentalize. She don't know how to separate it. She don't know how to leave whatever just happened over there to come talk to me. She brings all that anger from over there in that situation and directs it at me. And her and we bumped heads a lot. And it just kind of got to the point to where she realized, okay, I might go over there, look, see what he's doing, make sure he's on task. And then I'm leaving him alone, because every time her and I talked, it was an argument. And so, and it's not because I didn't respect her or that I didn't. It was none of that. It was just, talk to me with respect. If you have a problem with what I'm doing, pull me to the side. Don't sit there and try to embarrass me in front of customers or try to embarrass me in front of the people that I'm training. Pull me to the side and have a conversation with me. And that's what I'm saying. There's a certain level of common courtesy, respect that should happen. You know what I'm saying? For everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because if you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing as my manager, you wouldn't want me coming to you in front of customers. You wouldn't want me coming to you in front of other supervisors, other managers, or your boss, and chewing you out and talking to you about how you're a bad manager in front of them. You would want me to pull you to the side and have that conversation with you one-on-one. So give that same respect. So her and I never saw eye to eye from that level. And it was just a respect thing. But going back to the topic, so I understand that some bad interactions can make you feel like you have a bad job when really you might have a pretty good job. It's just this one person or this one thing that annoys the hell out of you about the job and makes the job harder than it should be, or makes the job way more insufferable than it should be, So I can understand how having one bad interaction with someone, or having that one lazy person, whatever the case may be, that one lazy person who doesn't want to work, or who wants to push their work off on other people, especially when that person is above you, that you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to work under. It's hard. It makes the job way harder than it has to be. And that's why for me, it's so important to make sure that y'all are promoting the right people with the right qualities, man. Y'all have to, because all of this promoting people just because they've been there for a long time, that ain't it, man. Because sometimes you promote people and you put people in positions just because they've been there long enough, but they haven't shown you the type of growth that they need to show you to fit that position, because now you're putting them in charge of people. And when you knew when you put them up there that it wasn't because of their quality of work, it's just the amount of time that they've been here. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they got the job or the promotion, is because they've been here long enough. And it's like, okay, we've promoted everybody else. We don't want to promote this new person, you know, that just came in a year ago, but has all the qualifications and has shown a willingness to step up to the occasion. We want to give it to this person who's been here 12 years. Or there's a reason why this person's been in the same position for 12 years. You haven't seen something in this person that makes you feel like they should get this promotion or they should be in this position to lead, you know what I'm saying, other people. And you put those people in those positions because of the tenure. And you're wondering why people are now leaving. And you know what I'm saying? Because, man, I feel like bad management can ruin a lot of workplaces. Because if I have a problem with my manager and y'all want me to do the chain of command, I'm supposed to be able to go to my manager and talk to my manager about whatever it is that's going on with me or between me and my manager. And there shouldn't be any retaliation. I shouldn't have to fear retaliation if I'm keeping it respectful and it's about the workplace. I'm not bringing nothing personal in. I'm literally just talking about where I feel you coming up short as a manager, not as a person, not as like nothing else. It's nothing personal. It's strictly professional, strictly about work, where I feel like you are falling short when it comes to the management side of things. And now I know that retaliation's finna come because you taking it personal when it's not personal. If I'm coming to you, and just to use me as an example, if I'm coming to you and I pull you to the side to have a one-on-one with you, and I'm like, hey, next time that you see me doing something wrong, or you just pull me to the side and have a one-on-one with me instead of, and it may have not been your intentions, but you know what I'm saying, instead of embarrassing me or, you know what I'm saying, in front of people, pull me to the side and have a one-on-one with me. You know what I'm saying? And if I have that conversation with you, and ever since that conversation, I'm not going to sit here and go extreme and say you went out your way to do it, but you've done it several times since then. Cool. Since me having that coming to you and having that one-on-one, you do it two or three more times. Cool. Now you showing me where you stand. You show, all right. And again, I'm trying to do better, right? I'm trying to do better. I don't feel like I'm at that level anymore, but to be honest, it hasn't happened since then, so I really won't know until I'm in the situation again. But it happened 2 or 3 more times where she came to me and instead of pulling me to the side, started trying to go off on me in front of everybody or in front of the people who were around. So I'm like, all right, cool. Just waited my time. Months go by. Finally found a time where she was around some other managers and with the store manager, so above her. And I gave her the exact same energy that she gave me. I held on to stuff and I waited until a moment and I did that. And some things, and it was some good and some bad that happened with that. So some of the good things was I started to notice some changed behavior in her. Some of the bad was, you know what I'm saying, I kind of was on other managers' list of, okay, I don't want him in my department, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So some good and some bad came with it, but I didn't care about that in that moment. I just cared about, I came to you with a problem, went through my chain of command the right way, because I didn't go over your head about it. I came to you, and instead of you correcting it, or at least attempting to correct it, you just went straight in, continued doing what you were doing. So for me, again, at the time, I'm hoping and praying that I'm better now and I wouldn't do the same things that I did back then because I know better, so I'm trying to do better. But I took that moment to go down to your level, meet you at that low vibration, that low energy that you were on, instead of staying high or just going high. I went low. I met you where you were. And again, I hope that I wouldn't do that now. I hope that I would handle things a little bit better now. But a lot, I can understand. I say all of that to say that I can understand how one bad reaction or one bad interaction with somebody, especially somebody who's working over you, can change your whole perspective on your job. But you got to also take time to sit back and realize that this is just your perspective. This is not reality. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, you may have a great job, but just a terrible person that you work under. Cool. If your company is big enough, then there's opportunities for you to move to different departments. There's opportunities for, and maybe that person just had a bad day and talking to them one-on-one could clear up a lot of things. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of possibilities that could happen, but I'm saying all of that to say, don't take that one interaction, that one bad interaction, and just want to, and be ready to throw the whole job away because your perception of your job now has changed because of that one interaction. Now you're looking at this as a bad job or a bad company when really it just may be you're working under, I won't even say a bad person. You just working under someone where y'all don't mesh. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was for me. I just was working under one of those people where she's very strong-willed. I'm just as strong-willed. She didn't want to give. I didn't want to give. And when I'm around those type of people, when I could normally be flexible, I can normally be bendable, I can normally be pliable, I can be okay with certain things as long as I know when I come to you saying I got a problem with this, then we can sit down, have a conversation, and we can find a way to work through it, and so that it doesn't happen again. I'm cool with that. But the moment that you show me that even if I do it the right way and I come to you and I talk to you and I have a conversation with you, you're still willing to do what you do the way you do it because you feel like, oh, I'm the boss, I'm the super, whatever, however you feel. Because I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but for whatever reason, if you still feel like you're going to do things the way you want to do them when it comes to me, and I've already expressed to you that I don't appreciate that, cool. Now you finna get the stubborn side of me because I tried to do it the right way. I came to you in peace. I came to you trying to resolve a conflict the right way without increasing the conflict, without raising the temperature, without increasing the rage or the energy. I'm trying to lower it. I'm trying to come to you and come to a compromise. I'm trying to tell you that some of your actions rub me the wrong way. I don't like them. Is there any way that we can resolve this? And then once you show me that, no, I'm not going to resolve it, I'm going to continue doing what I do, then okay, cool. Again, this is back then. I'm going to meet you down there. You take what I think Shannon Sharp said it, you take the low road, I'm going down to the basement. That was my mentality because I'm trying to take the high road with you. You still undercut me and take the low road. Okay, well then, basement, here I come. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. And again, I haven't been in a situation like that recently, and I'm praying at this job that I never do. But if I ever do at this job, I'm hoping that I handle it a lot better than I would have in the past because, and again, as y'all already know, when something don't feel right with me, y'all know I was quick to quit, or I was quick to give up. But one of the things that made me hold on to that job so long was because, like I said, I was working around some good people, some genuinely good people, you know what I'm saying, that made the job enjoyable. She was just like one of those dark spots. So it didn't really change my perception too much of the job. It was just, let me get through my morning meetings with her and let me get through whatever I need, whatever interactions I need to go through with her, and let me get through them so that way I can get to the joyful part of my day, which is being around my coworkers and having a good time and enjoying myself at work. Because I feel like when you have a job where you just enjoy the people, and the people that you around help make you enjoy the job itself, man, that's a great situation. So for me, that's why I stayed. I got comfortable and I stayed, because even though I didn't care for my manager, I just got through whatever I needed to get through with her. And then I went to just be around my coworkers and just have a good time, a good day, or whatever. And I did my best to not let my bad interactions with her. I tried my best not to let that bad moment turn into a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that I would also do, is take a bath, especially if it happened early in the morning. That bad moment, I could never get out of it because I couldn't let it go, because I was so frustrated, and I allowed her to have so much influence on me that she would be going on about her day, and I would let that one moment hold me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm normally a joyous person. I'm normally happy. I'm normally having a good time, smiling, just making other people laugh. But because of that one moment, I allowed that one moment with her, one interaction, whatever it may have been, I allowed it some days to just turn a bad moment into a bad day. And now I'm sitting here just grumpy, frowning, upset about one moment. You know what I'm saying? And now that I've made that one moment, one bad moment, into a bad day. And then if I can't get that whatever spirit energy off of me, I can carry it home, and then carrying it home, and then it starts to build. So now I'm carrying that negative energy into the next day. And then if I have another bad moment with her the next day, and so on and so forth. So, you know what I'm saying? I can understand how a bad moment can change your perception about a pretty good job or a decent job, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta make sure that you take the time to realize, is this really a bad job, or was that just a bad moment? Am I really having a bad day, or did I just have a bad morning and I couldn't let whatever bad happened that morning, I couldn't let it go, and now it started to trickle down into my day. I'm the one who made it bad because of my mindset, because I couldn't let whatever, a text message, a phone call, whatever, I couldn't let that go, and now I've allowed that to seep into the rest of my day. So we got to start checking our perception versus reality. And then what also happens is, when we allow our perception to take over, we allow our perception to take over reality. Sometimes we do things in anger, or we do things hastily, and you might quit that job, right? So you have that bad moment with that manager, whatever. Now you've convinced yourself you have a bad job, when in reality you have a good job. You might just have a bad manager, or like I said, you might have a manager you just don't get, y'all just don't gel well, y'all personalities don't do well together. But you've just convinced yourself that overall it's a bad job and it's not for you. Now you have to, now in your mind, you're like, well, now I need to find another job. Now I need to, and mind you, because this is something that I just talked about yesterday at the job too. I'm the type of person that no matter how comfortable I am at the job, no matter how good of a job I think it is, no matter how happy I may be at the job, I'm always looking for another job. I'm always on Indeed. If somebody else is out looking for a job, hey, if you see some warehouse stuff, or if you see this, you see that, send it to me. I'm always that person, not because I plan on leaving, but you just never know. Somebody might be offering $2-3 more for the exact same job that I do. And I would love to know this, so that way I can use it as leverage to see if I can get those $2-3. And even if I can't get the $2-3, can I get $1? Can I get $1.50? Can I get the $2? Who knows? But I always want to know what's going on. I always want to make sure I know what's going on around me. So I'm always looking, even if I don't have any real intention of applying. I just want to know what's out there because I may see something at a company I've wanted to work for, or there may be a position that I've always wanted to try that's available, and I'm putting in for it. Because for me, I would much rather be looking for a job while I have a job, while I already have a job, than to be trying to find a job when I don't have a job and I'm going broke. I've been there and I don't want to go back to that. So for me, I'm always looking. So I'm not telling when I'm talking about what I'm talking about on this episode, I'm not telling people not to look. Again, because I'm someone who's going to always look, no matter how comfortable or good the job is, or how easy the job is, whatever the case may be. I'm always looking because I want to know what's out there. So, getting back to the perception versus reality thing. So now you're convincing yourself that you need to get another job. You need to quit this job because this job is just so bad. They don't understand you, or it's not fair. Whatever you're telling yourself because of this one bad moment. And now let's just say you do quit the job and you go to another job. And now at this job, it's a lot worse than what you just left. Because not only do you have the bad manager, you got bad coworkers. They may not be as organized. They may have you wearing 4 or 5 different hats, but only paying you for whatever you came in to do. So, which leads me into appreciation. You know what I'm saying? So we got to appreciate the things that we have. And when I say appreciate, please don't think that I'm saying don't go looking for better. Of course, no, because like I just said, no matter how good the job is, or how comfortable, or how easy, or whatever the case may be, the job is, I'm always looking. But even though I'm looking, I'm appreciative of what I have, because like I said, even if I find something that's paying more or that I feel could be better for me, the first thing I'm going to do is bring it to where I am now, because I'm appreciative, because I understand that I can apply for this job and I can interview for this job and I can do well in the interview and they can still go with somebody else. I'm already in a place where they've already chosen me. So the first thing I would do is just take this to them and see, hey, can you match? If they can't match, it's cool, but can you give me something? Because now I know for what I do, somebody else is willing to pay X, Y, and Z. And just see. And maybe they can't. Maybe financially they just can't. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I obviously don't have the ability to open up the books and see if you really can or if you can't. But that's the first thing that I'll do, because again, I can appreciate somebody said yes to me, and so I already have a job. I'm not going to just assume that because I put in for this job and because of my amount of experience, I will be perfect for this job. That doesn't mean that they agree. They may already have somebody that they want to put in this position, but they just got to fill their quota of interviews that they have to do before they fill the position. And I just may be a quota interview as opposed to them really sitting down with me, really wanting to look at my experience and get to know me and giving me a real opportunity. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's all about appreciating where you are, especially if you can honestly look back and realize you're a lot further than where you used to be. You're no longer where you used to be. You're at a higher level than what you used to be. You got to appreciate where you are. So you got to take that time after that bad situation and just take time to decompress, decompartmentalize, and realize, okay, is it a bad moment? Is it a bad job? Was it a bad moment? Is it a bad day? If it is a bad day, leave it at a bad day. Don't take it into the rest of your week. And even if you have a bad week, right? Let's just say things are happening all week. Take time. Don't bring that into the next week, and so on and so forth. So we got to stop taking negative energy from moments and situations and allowing them to linger in us to make the rest of our to make the rest of our day bad, because when you can't let go of a situation that happened in the morning, now you snapping off at people that you normally wouldn't snap off at them about stuff that you probably don't even care about the stuff that you snapping about. It's just that you directing your anger at whoever's in front of you when really you angry about whatever happened 4 or 5 hours ago. And so as someone who's done that before and been on both sides of it, I've been a victim of it, but I've been the one doing it as well, directing my anger at the person in front of me instead of dealing with or handling or just compartmentalizing everything. I've directed my anger at the person in front of me, and that was a problem in my last relationship too. Was sometimes I did direct my anger at her when she had nothing to do with why I was angry. I just wasn't dealing with whatever I needed to deal with, and that was a me problem, but I made it an us problem when I directed my anger at her for something that, again, she had nothing to do with, didn't even know what was going on. So we got to start making sure that we realize that certain situations are just bad moments. You know what I'm saying? And not a whole bad situation. It's just a bad moment, or I'm dealing with one bad person that I need to find a way to get away from. Let me move to another department instead of leaving my job altogether, especially if you like the job. If in 2-3 years you haven't thought to yourself, damn, this is a bad job, then this one moment don't need to turn the job bad. That one moment needs to make you realize if there is another department, see about moving to another department. See about trying to, you know what I'm saying, just switch to another department as opposed to just leave a job, because too many times something bad happens and our first thought is, man, HR is going to take their side because they're in leadership or whatever. But if need be, go to HR, find out. You know what I'm saying? See if they'll take it. You don't just assume that they'll take their side. Find out, have these conversations, have these talks. And like I said, have the talk with that person. But if you're the type who doesn't like direct confrontation, I can understand that as well, because I used to be that way until that last job that I had that motivated me to start doing these podcasts. That's the job where I found my voice as far as talking directly to people about stuff that I don't like, before getting angry. Because in the scenario that I gave you before about where the manager I didn't like, but the people that I liked, it was just, I wouldn't go to her until I was just finally upset and fed up and pissed off. Whereas this last job, I didn't wait then. I'm talking to this person every single day before anything happens. Hey, you told me my job was going to be X, Y, and Z. You got me doing something totally different. When is this going to change? And I'm talking to this person every single day, and they basically just lied to me. And it was just it became a very frustrating situation, because I came into that so excited, so ready, because I thought that I was going to be doing something that I had been wanting to do for a while, and working with a system that I had wanted to work with for a while. And so when it finally got to the point where I realized, okay, you just stringing me along, I started to get very, very frustrated. So as pissed off as I was with him, and despite the negative thoughts that even to this day I still have towards him, I'm also thankful, because it pushed me enough out of my comfort zone to start doing the video. So even in that, there was something good that came out of that bad situation, because I don't think it's a bad job. I don't think it's a bad company, and I don't think that there are bad people. And I honestly don't think that he's a bad person. I just think that he needed a quality people to do a position that was lower than what the position he put out there. He put the position as a certain thing, but really you're doing stuff that's probably entry level stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he wanted quality level people doing it. but he just lied about it. My thing is, I feel like if you change the title and you're honest with people, you can find quality level people who are willing to do the type of work that you need them to do, but don't lie to people in the interview and tell them, hey, the job is this, and then when they get there, the job is really something totally different. You know what I'm saying? That was the only thing. But even in that, it was just a bad person that I was dealing with. The job itself wasn't a bad job. It was just, I was lied to. The wolves pulled over my eyes, and I was deceived because I thought I was coming in to do something, and I did something else. Again, wasn't a bad job, wasn't a bad thing. It's just that I didn't appreciate being lied to. So we got to stop allowing our perceptions to become our realities. We need to take a step back and really just look at, is this a bad day as opposed to a bad life? Is this a bad moment as opposed to a bad job? Is this me working with somebody that them and I just don't get along? Can I move to another department? There are other things, because again, you got to understand that sometimes we leave. You don't realize how good you have something until it's gone. You don't realize how good your situation right now may be until you've convinced yourself it's bad and you leave, and then you find yourself in a situation that's even worse than what you just left. Now you want to appreciate it. So I'll say, before you leave your situation, really, and whatever it is, relationship, job, whatever it is, before you leave your current situation, really evaluate it. Be honest with yourself about your current situation and really evaluate it and figure out what it is. Because if it is a bad situation, then of course get out of it. Of course leave, but always make sure that you really evaluate it. And if it is a job, man, find that next job. Preferably find that next job before you go leaving this one. But man, all in all, man, I'm just saying, stop allowing bad moments to become bigger than what they are. Stop allowing one bad person to make you think a whole situation is bad. Stop allowing one bad moment to make you think a whole situation is bad. And when you have to deal with those bad moments and those bad people, deal with it and then get that negative energy off of you. Don't carry that negative energy into the next day or into the next parts of your work day, because you're going to allow it to affect you in ways that you shouldn't. So, man, stay positive and continue doing the work to get better, improving yourself every single day. And I want to thank y'all for coming in, tuning in, checking in with me on the podcast. Y'all already know, wherever you're listening, please leave a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's continue to grow this channel. And again, thank y'all for taking the time to listen to me. Have a great new year, and everybody stay blessed.